This is IGCSE Math 2, and this is the midterm review. So we have, this is my key. Alright, so now for this, just like I explained on my previous, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to extend my lines. So I'm doing it in different colors here. Different colors are going to help me. So it says that if that's 55, that's going to be the same thing. Same thing there and there. Same thing there and there. So there and there. So I need to find B, C, D. B, C, D. So BCD right here is going to be this angle inside there. So if that's 55, that's 55, that's 55, that's 55. So it means that this is 55 degrees. Now I'm going to do the next part in red. So this next part is red here. So in red, and now see it right here. So I need to figure out this piece right here, because the next one right here says ECD. ECD. So it's going to be this piece in here. So this piece in here, I don't know what that is, but I know it's not going to be the 120. I know it's going to be the same as what I have here, and it's the same as what I have here. But to figure out this one down here or this one over here, so I could figure out one of these two because I know that these two right here make a straight line. So if they make a straight line, they need to add up to 180. So if they have to add up to 180, I know that I would take 180 minus my 120, which is going to give me 60. So this piece is going to be 60. So that means that this piece is going to be 60. So ECD is going to be 60. So let me fill this in. 60 degrees. This top one was 55 degrees. My next question is going to be ECB. ECB. So it's this big angle, the whole thing. All of that right in there. So if it's all of that in there, so the top part is 55, the bottom part is 60. So I'd go 55 plus 60, which together is going to give me 115 degrees. There we go. So let's take a look at the next one. The next one, let's take a look. So this one right here says A. So it's kind of blurry, so I'll show you. That one's A, this one's 3A. So let's take a look. So let's mark where congruent. So this in here and this one's going to be the same. So this and this are the same. So if it's not going to be the same as this right here, that means that these two right here are going to end up being supplementary. So if they're not the same, so if they're marking here and here, marking here and here, if it doesn't match like that, then it's going to be supplementary. So my answer I'm going to have to do is going to be 3A plus A equals 180. So I add that one and that one together to add up to 180. 4A equals 180. Divide both sides by 4. Clear. 180 divided by 4. It's going to be A equals 45. So right here it says in this right here, calculate the value of A. So we're only looking for value of A, so A is going to be 45 here. Alright, this next question, number 3, says the circumference of a circle is 12 pi. So circumference of a circle is 12 pi. Find the radius. So the formula for circumference, so or same thing as perimeter, is going to be 2 pi times radius. 2 pi times radius, or going to be pi times diameter. Now, in this one right here, we're trying to find the radius, so we're not going to use this one. So we have two different ways of doing this, but this one is asking for the radius, so I'm not going to use the one with diameter. Now, this formula is in your notes. It should be somewhere in your notes. So now I give you the answer here. We need to work it backwards. So it says this is going to be 12 pi. So 12 pi is equal to 2 pi r. And we're trying to get r by itself. So the 2, the pi, and the r are all multiplying together. So to undo it, I'm going to need to divide by 2 pi, 2 pi. So that's going to cancel those. So I get r is equal to, now over here my pi's will cancel. And now I have to look at right here, 6 divided by 2. I'm sorry, 12 divided by 2 is going to give me 6. So r is going to be 6. Now, on number 4, how many square slides of 50 centimeters will be needed to cover the floor shown? Now, the easiest way to do this, because these are in meters, and we're trying to figure out in centimeters right here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and convert all these into centimeters. I know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. So I'm going to use that information here. So now this, I'm going to change all my values. This is 900, this is 600, 300, and 300. So now I can go ahead and try and do this. So let's go ahead and we're going to find the area of what we have here, because we're going to actually put tiles over this piece. So it's going to be the area. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right here. So if it's 3 here, it's 300 here, and the whole thing is 6, that means this is also 300. So this piece right here is a 300 by 300. This piece here is a 300 by 900. So I have my area 1 is going to be 300 times 900. And I should get, this is going to be 270,000. It's a 27 with 4 zeros behind it. So area 1 is equal to 27, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's going to be in centimeters square. Now let's do area 2 the same way. So area 2 is going to be equal to this times this, so it's 300 times 300, 300 times 300. It's going to be 9 with 4 zeros behind it. So that's going to be 90,000 centimeters squared. So now to figure out the whole area, I would add those two. So I go my 90,000 plus 27, 1, 2, 3, 4, enter. And I should get, this is a 36, so my total area, 36 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros behind it. I'm going to put some commas to hold it place here. So that's going to be my total area here. So now it's asking the question, how many tiles that are this big, so it's 50 by 50, they're squares, so each one's square. So how many 50 by 50 are we going to get out of this? So what I'm going to take, I'm going to take this one right here, I'm going to divide it by the 50. So I'm going to have this answer right here divided by 50, and I'm going to get 7,200. So I'm going to have 7,200 tiles. That says tiles. Yes, it does. Don't complain about my penmanship. Tiles. Alright, T-I-L-E-S. Something like that. Alright, so we had the total area. I divide it by 50 because that's what I have right here. Okay, because each one is 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters, so I'm going to divide it by that, and I get 7,200 tiles total. Number 5, the perimeter of a square is 36 centimeters. So now I know certain things about a square. I know a square says all sides are the same, and I know that perimeter is going to be adding up all the sides. So I don't know each one of those, right? But you know that perimeter is just adding them all together. So this is going to be 36 is equal to, but I know in a square they're all the same. So let's say x, 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 x. So I have how many x's? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4x. Now to figure out what each side is, divided by 4. X is equal to 9. And my units here is going to be centimeters. So each one's going to be 9 centimeters. So it's 9, 9, 9, and 9. If you add them all up together, my perimeter, my total distance around the outside is going to be 9 centimeters for each side. If you add them all up, it's 36. Okay, so now that I have this, given my perimeter, I know the length of each side. But my question is, what is the area? So this one's kind of tricky. It makes you find each side, the measurement of each side, but then now you have to use that information again. So since I know that that's 9, that's 9, that's 9, that's 9, to find the area of a square, it's going to be base times height. Area is equal to, that should be an equal to. Area is equal to base times height. So the base is going to be 9 and the height is also going to be 9. So area is equal to 9 times 9. So my area is 81 centimeters square. Okay, so let's take a look at number 6. Number 6 says, in the triangle below, the measure of the smallest angle is, with the question mark, so that's going to be this piece right here. But I know that all angles in a triangle need to add up to 180 degrees. So, no matter what I have here, I could add them together. So I'm going to have 7x plus 5x plus 4x, that has to equal 180 degrees. If I combine like terms, I'm going to get, that's going to be 12, and that's going to be 16. I have 16x equals 180. Divide both sides by 16. So x is 180 divided by 16. 180 divided by 16. So I get 11.25. Now, it's asking for the measure of the smallest angle. So the smallest one, if that one's 7x, that's 5x, and that's 4x. So if I were to plug it back in, the smallest one's going to be this one right here. And so I need to plug this back in because it's asking for the smallest angle. It's not asking for x, it's asking for the smallest angle. So it's going to be 4 times 11.25 times 4, it's going to give me 45. So that equals 45 degrees for my smallest angle. Now, number 7, it says the volume of the cylinder is in centimeters. So below in centimeters cubed is blank. Now, I got to look at my different units. Right here, this is in centimeters and this one's in meters. So I know again that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So now this is not 2 meters, this is going to be 200 centimeters. Now I can go ahead and find the volume. So the volume of this, so volume of the cylinder is going to be pi r squared h, where my r is going to be half because this says arrows on both sides. So it's going to be half of this because it says this is going all the way across. So that's the diameter, the radius is half of that, and my height is going to be 200. So volume is equal to pi times 2.5 squared times 200. So pi times 2.5 closed squared times 200. And I should come up with, right here, 3926.99. If I'm rounding to the 10th, that 9 is going to make that 9 turn into a 10. So if that turns into a 10, that's going to make that go up. So I'm going to have 3927.0, because that 9 makes that 9 go up too. So my volume is going to be about 3927.0 centimeters cubed. The length in centimeters of the minor arc cut out of the circle below. So we're asking for just this one right here, the arc length. If you remember arc length, the formula is going to be theta divided by 360 times 2 pi r. So now in this one right here, I have my theta is 80, my r is 4. So I'm going to have 80 divided by 360 times 2 pi, my r is 4. There we go. So I'm going to plug that in my calculator. So I get 80 divided by 360 times 2 times pi times 4. Enter, and I come up with 5.85. This 8 makes that 5 become a 6 if I'm rounding to the 10th. So it's going to be 5.6 centimeters. Nine, the volume of a square pyramid below is 25 inches cubed, and the side length of the base is 5. What is the height of the pyramid? So it gives me the answer, and I have to find out my height. So I have to look at my formula for this. My formula is my volume is equal to 1/3 capital B times H, where capital B is going to be, capital B is the area of the base. So the area of the base would be 5 times 5. So V equals 1/3 5 times 5 times 5 times H. But now again, we have to go up to here. It says the volume of the pyramid is 25. So plug that in. 25 is equal to, this is going to be 1/3, and we have times 25 times H. Now, right here, so I'm going to have 25. So let's bring this up. 25 is equal to 25 over 3H, because if I multiply 1/3 by this, it's going to actually, if I'm multiplying, it's going to be 1 times 25 and 3 times 1. So I get 25 over 3. Now to get H by itself, I would multiply top and bottom by 3 over 25. 3 over 25. And so I'm going to have 3 over 25 times 25 over 1 is equal to, because 25 is on top, bottom, those cancel. 3 is on bottom and top, those cancel. I get my H. So right here I get 25, cancel, cancel. So 3 is equal to my H. Now, if you want to check this answer, you can, because we have the original formula for this. So if we plug in 3 into this, when I know that my B, my capital B, is 5 times 5, it should give me as 25 on my outside. So it should give me 25 on my outside. So we can go ahead and plug that in if you need to, if you want to check your work on this. Now, which object is made up of all squares? So I could actually have here's a square made up of all squares. And now what if I add another one onto here? So I could say that it could be a square. And I could also say, since it's longer this way than it is this way, it also could be a rectangle. So it could be a square or a rectangle for what we have here. Now, on 11, find the midpoint of a segment with the following, it should say endpoint. So we're finding the midpoint. So my formula for midpoint is going to be x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2, close. So this is going to give me 2 plus 5 over 2, 3 plus 6 over 2. So on top I'm going to get 7 over 2, comma, this is going to give me 9 over 2. Now, a big error that people are making, they're dividing. They're putting it all in the calculator and dividing by 2. It's not doing it correctly because it's not adding first. Okay, because your calculator always says that division comes before addition, but you need to actually do the addition part yourself. So the 2 plus 5 is going to give me 7, and 7 divided by 2. So my final answer for this one is going to be 3.5, comma, and this comes out to be 4.5 as my midpoint. So now find the distance between the two given points. Now, distance, I do not like using the distance formula, so I use the method, the Pacho method for this. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a number line right up here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a negative 5. I don't need to go that far. Let's see. Alright, so now, so distance, so from 3 to 7. How far is it from 3 to 7? Let's see. Here's 1, 2, 3. Here's 3 right here. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going inside my Pythagorean theorem. So I have 4 squared plus, how far is it from negative 2 to 4? Let's see, here's negative 2 right here, and let's count to 4, which is right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squared. So we're going to plug that into my calculator now. So now that I have that, so to do this square, okay, I have, it's going to be second x squared, and I'm going to have 4 squared plus 6 squared, close, right there, I close it to say all that's in my radical, and I should be about 7.2 as my distance. Now on number 13, which side of the triangle below has the longest length? So in a triangle, the longest length goes with the largest side, but I don't know what angle A is first, but I know that all 3 angles in a triangle have to add up to 180. So let's figure out what A is first before I could say which one's the biggest. So 44 plus 74 plus A is equal to 180, because in a triangle, all 3 always add up to 180. 44 plus 74 equals, so I get 118 plus A is equal to 180. Subtract 118 from both sides. So A is going to be, so 180 minus 118, 62. So A is going to be 62 degrees. So now 62. So if that one is going to be that's not the largest, so the largest is going to be 74. So that means that this piece right here is going to open wider down here than these other ones. And yes, it doesn't look like it, but it's not drawn to scale. So if that's 74, that means that this one here is going to be the longest side because it's going to open up wider than these other ones, and so that my line AC or CA is going to be the longest side in this one. 14. If C is congruent to D and D is a right angle, okay, and it says find the value of Y. So if C is the same as D, D is a right angle, so that means that D is 90, and so this says that D is 90, so if C is the same thing, that means that C is 90. So we're trying to find the value of Y. So right here, I'm going to say that 90 is equal to 8y minus 18. Add 18 to both sides. So I should get 108 is equal to 8y. So let's bring it over here. 108 is equal to 8y. Okay, so I just brought it down, add those together. Alright, so right here I need to divide both sides by 8. Y is equal to 108 divided by 18. Clear, wrong one. 108 divided by 8. There we go. 13.5. So 108 divided by 8 is going to give me 13.5. Now on number 15, find the value of Q. Now, if I'm looking at here, I have a central vertex, so all of it around there needs to add up to 360. If that's a central vertex, that means everything all around it is going to add up to 360. So I'm going to list this out. So I'm going to say 124 plus Q plus Q plus Q plus Q has to add up to 360. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I have all four. So 124 plus 4Q equals 360. Subtract 124 from both sides. So 4Q is equal to, let's see, 360 minus 124. And I get 236. Now to get Q by itself, I need to divide both sides by 4. So divide both sides by 4. So I'm going to take that 236 and I'm going to divide that by 4. And I should get Q is equal to 59. Alright, on number 16, this is one of our favorite ones back in Unit 1. So if we're trying to find the area, the shaded area here, so that's just going to be the outside. So what I need to do, so let's call this one Area 1, and the inside is going to be Area 2. So if you notice, this is the hole in my square. So I'm going to find the area of the square. The square is a 10 by 10. So Area 1 is equal to 10 times 10. So it's a 10 by 10, so Area 1 is equal 100 centimeters square. Now, if this is a circle, the distance all the way across is going to be 10. Now we need to find the area of the circle. So the area doesn't use the distance or the diameter, it uses the radius. So the radius of this circle is going to be half the diameter. So that's going to be 5. So for Area 2, it's equal to pi times radius, which is going to be 5, squared. So pi r squared, so my radius is 5 because it's half the diameter. Let's plug that in the calculator. Pi, parentheses, 5 close, squared. And so I'm going to come up with 78.5 because that 3 doesn't make that 5 round up. Centimeters square. So now, if I'm looking at the shaded area, so the circle is a hole in the shaded area, so I need to make sure that I'm actually taking this away. So I have the big one minus the little one. Okay, so big one minus the little one, so I should have 100 minus the 78.5. 100 minus 78.5, and that's going to give me 21.5, and my units are going to be centimeters squared, and that's only going to be my shaded region around the sides.